Hi, everyone. I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube, Spirit to Spirit Teachings of Going With Itself, on TikTok, 1974 Enlightened Soul. And I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I always recommend, suggest, and really encourage you to read the description on my YouTube Teachings of Going Within Self to get a better understanding of what I bring forward on my channel. Okay, now there's many of you are aware, I look through TikTok and what have you, because I don't watch news, but I look to see what's going on. And there's things with regards to Candace Owen, Erica Kirk, and Charlie Kirk. And, well, bringing Mikey McCoy in, okay? Now I've voiced like different things of what I've seen because I'm not picking stuff. I'm seeing things from a different perspective. But earlier I was saying about, you put the pieces of the puzzle together, okay? Because it's much like your biblical text. Everything is scattered all over the place. I know sometimes it's like I just jump right in. Now, there was this thing that Erica Kirk and Candace Owen are going to talk now, private talk. I was sitting here scrolling, and there was a few things that caught my attention. Okay, because I even looked up about Charlie Kirk and Candace Owen and her husband, and they met somewhere, and then 18 days later they were engaged to be married. I know people are like, well, what is that? It just like, okay. It just, now when I have it and I'll get to it. When I was scrolling, there was a few things that just, caught my ear, caught my attention, because I was searching to find out if Candace Owen was at Charlie Kirk's rally when he was shot, and if Erica Kirk was at his rally when he was shot. I guess people were under the impression that she was there. So I got looking some more. And I started like putting pieces together because Candace Owen, she was suspicious, of why Mikey McCoy was just grabbed his phone and started talking on it and ran off. But in that footage, did anybody notice that he had his phone turned towards Charlie Kirk, who was on the other end of that phone? People say about, circumstantial evidence or what have you, I'm open-minded. I'm seeing things from all aspects. I'm hearing her, and I'm like hearing what he would speak of, and like it's just okay. So the distraction is hearing each other and not hearing or seeing what would be of the obvious if you knew what you were looking for. It's gonna be fucked up. Okay, and people will be like, oh, well, like, that doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, okay, which video should I play first? Okay, people are like with regards to Mikey McCoy. Okay, now we'll play. It's gonna. This here is gonna trigger, and it's gonna like ruffle some feathers. Okay, because some are on his side and some aren't. Some are on Candace's side, some aren't. Like I said, it's gonna ruffle some feathers. And energetically, you're gonna like try to beat the shit out of me. But hey, it's which to play first to put it into the perspective. Okay. If I can, do this right. Okay. Oh, shit.
Of MAGA, an important ally of Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk was fatally shot on September 10th, 2025,
now watch the footage
at Utah Valley University.
Not that I
from a
will,
rooftop
I'm not
100
apologizing.
yards away. What is this sudden
Now, see
tragedy
him?
about?
The phone is directed towards Charlie Kirk, correct?
Who is behind the assassination? People around the world are speculating.
You all see that it's pointed at him. So he obviously has somebody on the other end.
Movement was seen around the campus.
Okay?
As some of the
rest of it, I'm not concerned about. Okay? Now, you saw the phone, and when he was shot, there was the footage of him running away, like talking to someone on the phone. Let's go to that part. Okay. Oh, shit. What the heck? Dang it. Thank you.
I think Mikey.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not taking sides. I'm seeing different perspectives, but let's do this. Okay. So we're going to watch here what she's talking about.
Was promised or told or encouraged that he would become the new Charlie, and it is a fact that was the number one sentiment that we received from our Turning Point USA insiders following Charlie's assassination.
That's when Mikey started calling me. He called me within seconds.
I called Erica.
Mikey started calling her within seconds.
I just remember it rang like 3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say. Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it.
Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange.
In less than seconds. Puts the phone to his ear and then starts going. Okay? So we'll go back to that. He's assassinated in this time frame when this phone is in this guy's hand up like that. So within seconds, whoever was on that line was already on. So when I asked where Erica Kirk was, kept just taking me to different things and saying, like, she wasn't there. But it wasn't saying where she was.
Are you wearing 7 layers and still freezing
Excuse
your
me.
man nipples? You need the new 340G.
You live for those moments when he just walked down and was throwing hats and students. He loved Gen Z and young people. And there's just a sea of endless crowds of people. You couldn't even see the end. He was throwing out hats and then just, still processing.
He was the one that had the phone pointed at Charlie Kirk.
Sadly,
Yeah, I just
Where'd
started
that go?
to record just a couple of moments ago.
So we're going to watch this.
Are you praying? This moment you can pray for Charlie.
1 second.
That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
And so Mikey called me, and I'll never forget.
Okay. Now we're going to go here. That was it. Oh, shit.
Charlie Kirk has been shot.
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
Was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I have my phone and I see the video coming of him
flinging out the hats. And I said, Mom,
Shit.
started. So we saw.
Okay, did you hear that? She was sitting with her mom. Fuck her. Just a sec.
Charlie Kirk had
has been shot.
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
I was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I have my phone and I see the video coming of him flinging out the hats.
She sees the video of him flinging out the hats. Okay, people will say, well, that's live. Okay. But he's pointing the phone.
I said, Mom, look, it started. So we saw the hats being flung. I put my phone down and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. I moved my mom. I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Mikey started calling me.
Okay. Coincidence? She was watching it. Okay. She set her phone down and she put it on silent. But it was then when Mikey started phoning her, but he had already had the phone in his hand pointed at Charlie Kirk. I'll ask again, like, I can feel that. You want to rip me apart? Bring it. Do it energetically. You know, you'll say, oh, coincidence. Like, he she was watching. How was she watching? Was Mikey McCoy recording it? Because it looked like it was from behind where Mikey McCoy was. You know, I'm questioning, see, everybody else is. But the phone was up facing Charlie Kirk. She was watching it, but then she put her phone down. And then right at that moment, seconds later, she's getting the call. Or was she already on there? Because if her phone was silent, I guess she got the vibration. You know, it's much like many people, they don't want their hands dirty. Within seconds.
Called Erica. I just remember it rang like
3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say. Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it. That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
And so Mikey called me, and I'll never forget him just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot. Get the kids. Get security. Get the kids. Get the kids. He's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center. I just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot. Called our security.
I'm going to be honest. There's no such thing as coincidence, it's just synchronicities. I wasn't fond of a lot of Charlie Kirk stuff. He had good points of view, but he had a lot of bad points of view. But he was questioning. Do you know that when there is a death like that, it's usually a spouse involved or someone very close to them? I believe she's been groomed. When I seen that, it was just like, what? And she had been watching him throw the hats. Who was behind her? Because the cameras would be in front of, like the actual cameras recording the rally would be more so in front of him. But the angle that it was on was pretty much the same angle that Mikey McCoy was standing at. And then when he was sitting there, he held the phone. See, where did the bullet hit? Okay, because he was behind him on an angle. Okay. And, I'll tell you, like, if you ever thought like a spy, where would you hide your weapon of choice? In the least obvious place, right? And in a position where whoever was on the other end watching would see it happen. Because in a matter of that split second, he's on his phone. Whoever he had on the other end, like, fuck. All you have to do is there's no dialing. But she said he tried her 3 or 4 times. Are you fucking serious? I'll be honest, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. But conspiracy theory, it's what makes sense. But the only way that you'd know that happened is, FaceTime records, phone records. Can't scrub that. And, you know, people would some people would be of the mindset that they would even record something like that because they want to see their work over and over again. It's like that serial killer. I'm not saying that the person's a serial killer, but you know. It's that mindset. People said that when it was brought up about Candace Owens, she went evil. She had that evil look. Yeah, it was an evil look. But it was also the look of something else is hidden between those two. For there to be that much disdain for one another. It's like, what kind of look if your best friend screws you over and they mention their name, what kind of look do you get over you? It's like a double cross, right? I told you, it sounds more like there is some sort of love triangle taking place. And maybe it's like, I was going to take a private investigator's course, but I never did. I got like a part of a book. But it didn't take much. It took seeing those two videos and making sense of it. But see, it's like I said, it's much like your biblical text. They have everything scattered all over the place. Distracted here, distracted there, mixing it up here and there and everywhere, you know. You know, I wouldn't want my loved one's funeral on public display. If it's so private, why make it so public? Ratings, profits, false ones at that. Oreseto moese. People say you got to pick a side. how do you pick a side when you actually see both sides? And I mean the hurt side, the pain side, the aggression side, and the manipulative side of it. Because they're not doing this on their own. You know, I'll say it, Donald Trump says on a witch hunt. Is she a witch? Yes, she is. But they both are. Just, Erica Kirk just looks a little more witchy. She wears the crystals and it's like one against the other. And, well, apparently, from my readings, Erica Kirk is Catholic. And so is Candace Owens' husband. The hand. Then they know, like, they're the closest people to you. So who do you talk to? You talk to the closest ones to you, right? So they get the intel. See, everything is in the obvious. But you have to know how to see obvious. There's been a whole lot of grooming. Candace Owens' husband met her, and 18 days later, they were engaged to be married. I know that happens. And that's like, questioning. I know. Back years ago, the guy that died, like, I had met him, and he had, I don't know how many days we had been like seeing each other, and I thought he was seeing someone else. And that's why, like, I didn't feel like I was like really together. But he took a bubblegum machine ring and he put it on my finger, and I was just no, like, whoa. So I'm sitting back and I'm seeing, like, there's like, okay, so there would be, let's see, Candace Owen and her husband, Charlie Kirk, and Erica, and Mikey McCoy. So said that Mikey McCoy was promised to be the front runner or something for, I was about to say Touchstone. They're Touchstone, right? Fudge. Turning USA or Turning Point USA. Okay. So who told him that? Okay. Was he being groomed? Was he being bought and paid for? See, that's the questions people don't want you asking, okay? Because that's the investigation. And that's how some investigations go awry, because, some are easy to bribe. Excuse me. I'll be honest, it's pretty bad when money means more to someone than someone's life. No matter whether you feel like they did you dirty. Okomahane sana yoshurea. Maybe it was that part of where somebody had to choose someone else's life over their own. I'm just sitting back and I'm questioning this stuff, because it's like Charlie Kirk identified as Christian. Candace Owen identified as Christian. Erica Kirk is Catholic. Candace Owens' husband, Michael, I guess his name is, or something like that, is Catholic. It's what you perceive your angels and demons. What you perceive your Michael and Lucifer. I don't know how either one of these women feel about, like, with regards to women's freedom of choice and women's freedom. People didn't like that when I said freedom of choice. And I believe you would be the ones to be pro-abortion or against abortion. See, the thing is, nobody knows what they're going to do until they're in that position. I had someone say that to me, and they're right. It's over, like, you didn't agree with transgender, okay? Okay, let's say, okay, Candace Owen is, questioning whether the president or prime minister's wife of the UK is man. Well, let's question you and Erica. Okay. This is what they were fighting over, the two religions, the two belief systems. There are like Christians that identify as like more of a liberal Christian. They're open-minded. They don't tell somebody how they have to live, but no, I don't agree with like people going and having sex changes, but it's not my body. I don't agree with like parents allowing that to happen because a school system bullies you. What they scream about, there should be like a way to like for like, it's like when I was doing the philosophy class, Killing and Letting Die. Well, there was a whole lot of fucky fuck, which it was like, holy shit, man. The courts are involved. The church is involved. Everybody's fucking involved when it doesn't even involve them. It only involves the parties involved, which is the person and the family. And my channel goes anywhere and everywhere because it's making sense and it's sorting through the shit. I just get a kick, certain things they like when shit's hitting the fan and they want to go private meetings. Yeah, I'd be saying, let's meet in public. Oh, wait. There was a meeting in public and somebody was supposed to have been assassinated. Got to have your witnesses, right? How many doctor's offices actually have cameras in them in the waiting room? People question everyone else's whereabouts. Don't like I can feel that. It's like the screaming here. I know people mourn in different ways. See, people said about like with regards to Erica Kirk and or what have you, that ring. The person that co-founded, because I know Candace Owens said about how well Charlie Kirk knew airplanes. Well, the co-founder was in the Air Force. That's how and why he would know about planes. Interested in planes. And then Candace Owens said about the airplane that was strange at one of the places where Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk went together. So, but I mean, put those two videos together and they match up perfectly. That's what they do. He's starting the wood stove. Yes, I do start it sometimes. But it gets really warm down here, so I try not to start it I try to go without it. Got new windows, and since got the new windows, I'm able to have the heat on 72, and it's fine in here. But the heat goes upstairs because it's a bigger, like, I mean, it's the same space, but mine's more sectioned off and his is more open and much higher ceilings. So it gets colder up there.
Plus, I got the floor insulated.
That's what I said.
I got a barred roof.
That's what I said. Racino mushlegay ay sala kareta ay no do kuti ko rusuto re vai somo. Ide puru esole kriam. It's weird. You know, those are the things that we get distracted from, or we don't put two and together. Maybe some of you did put two and two together. But she was already on the phone with him when it happened because she was watching the event. I believe in my medicine cabinet in the bathroom. We get along sometimes. It's not like husband and wife. Hello. Esito por esse não é? Me escutam. Puxa. Puxa, mãe. So, you know, hey. They're all for reading the Bible. Reading it and understanding it and realizing that you're actually living it. You know, look in your biblical text, who else was assassinated or said to have been assassinated? See, what was said about, like, they're preaching this stuff, but they're saying about false idols. Okay? And worshiping others like a god. And that's what you're doing. It was a showboat. Was it their money that went into, like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, you know, just I don't understand why. No, I don't need a public funeral. You know, I heard somebody say execution. Well, you know, many lives they've executed me, so arecito purikite to yemo shokutai, eh? Kisa. Fuck, I even have a tree in my backyard. One of the branches are shaped like a freaking cross. And I didn't know that until I did a video one day, and I was rewatching the video. I was like, "What the fuck?" Dice la que no doy schlecht, Hertui, Klebrian. Just bear with me or not. Sita pole no shule na nem kriye. Kore kore fancy hair. I appreciate you holding on. And it was how the tree grew. And, just here in the summertime, that was the first time I ever noticed it. See? That's how that tree grew. Watch out there, farty George. Excuse por aqui, Mikutei, Mushuletsuku moi. Mosquia. Mosquito furie. We get reminded of our path. I live in a house that was owned by a John, who happened to be a Baptist. It's reminding us of,
Deacon Joe.
yeah, and he was a deacon. The 7 deacons? Wish okay. Pikito porque eu moço grupo de criança. Isso daí. Como? Isso colher. Just saying. Doesn't mean you have to hear it or listen. Dice la lectura.
Don't you be picking on my love.
Exceto to ribriam. Biku yeshuku him. Things have gotten so ridiculous. I was told on TikTok that a woman doesn't show the naked picture of a cartoon character because she'd get banned on TikTok because of nudity. But yet I've seen actually women on here, boobs hanging out, like literally, and doing a dance and things like that. But this woman will get banned if she shows a cartoon character. It's like shit. Don't come to my fucking channel because, just worried about getting banned because they may step on the wrong people. Maybe it's not about stepping on their toes. Maybe you need to fucking jump on them. C'est là que t'es, flip a few tables, ruffle a few feathers. So I said, with all the other stuff, it's a distraction when, it's obvious that, who's holding the phone? Who said that, they were watching the video, but the video was from behind? And then all of a sudden she had her phone on silent. And then all of a sudden he's saying, I tried calling 3 or 4 times, but dude, you were holding the phone in your hand pointed at him when he was shot. And then you went like that. Yeah, there's no coincidence on that. My cousins in the Bootler brother trial, okay, they were hung for a stick. And because there was moccasin boot prints said to be in the snow, and they were the only ones that had moccasins around. But there was a whole lot of fucking other native people around that wore moccasins because it was the middle of the winter. Even can't prove who was behind that screen, but somebody was behind that screen, and within seconds of everything happening, they were on the phone together. But he tried 3 or 4 times. Like I said, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put something like that together. You just got to, know what you're seeing. Putting the film together. The timeline. So no, she wasn't at the thing. How convenient. I'm just saying. But I'm not even sure if Candace Owen was there either. I'm not saying she was in on it. I'm not saying the other one was in on it. I'm saying that, there's a whole lot of don't add up on both sides. Because something happened in the in-between. It's like shit. Many things are a distraction to the truth. Charlie Kirk questioned Donald Trump because of the Epstein files, which Donald Trump has an island of his own. He just has it in someone else's name. Same as Charlie Sheen. He owns property. Well, I mean, it was from the 16 or like from the 1800s that a Charlie Sheen supposedly owned property in Nova Scotia. And, they said that they have a look-alike. There's somebody that, they put Charlie Sheen's picture together and somebody else's picture together from older times. I'm just like, But people say, oh, well, why are you going looking in that stuff? Why do you not want me to? Do you know something that you don't want me to know? Am I going to find something you don't want me to see? Maybe I already know it's there. What are you effing about?
I'm in my own world, okay? Just leave me
Okay.
alone. Are you
No, you're irritated with me for.
No, I'm
oh, okay.
This fucking stove. Now piss off and leave me alone.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Well, I'll check the stove. Is it going? Man, go get the brush. Look at that. I thought I was losing hair.
Brush, I say shave the fucker.
I'm not shaving him.
Shave him and tape his paws.
Hey, well, I'm getting rid of that old fluffy hair that's loose.
Don't worry, Rolly. I'm not going to shave you.
Donald Trump, are you missing part of your wig?
Rolando and Milos.
Maybe it's part of mine because I'm starting to go thinning here.
What happened to your hair, Rolly?
What happened to your hair, Rolly?
Rolly
The big head is coming on.
Your cat is pissed off at you.
Who did take it? So, who watched Third Rock from the Sun? I even watched a guy on here saying, like, people believe that the aliens are demons. Are you a demon because your ancestors were the aliens? Oh yes, and while I'm thinking of aliens, you say immigrants. Okay, immigrants are considered like alien. Okay. Donald Trump wants everybody gone. Okay. Because of immigration. Let's see. Erica Kirk's grandfather actually was an immigrant from, I believe it said Sweden. So all these people that like Donald Trump says about getting rid of him, so all these people he has with him, does that mean all of them have to go too, including himself?
Oh, Rolly, look at my fucking pants. Jesus Christ, man, you're a fucking hairball.
Donald Trump's grandfather was.
I'm allergic to your ass. Get away from
His
me.
2 of his wives for
I can't
sure.
do that no more, Rolly. I'm sorry, buddy. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Jesus Christ. Fucking cats.
Gurita porecito to esumukutoi.
Fucking cats.
My person's going to like cats.
Fuck cats and city council.
Cats and city council.
Because cat lovers on city council is why you can't get any bylaws passed on cats. And that's why when you're going to weed your goddamn flower bed, you get cat shit in your fingers. And anybody who leaves their cat loose to go out and kill birds, well, there's people like me out there, and I don't believe feral cats should exist. So keep that in mind.
Nor should coyotes.
No coyotes, no.
Nor should dogs, because dogs were not native.
If you let your dog run loose and it attacks animals and shit, you watch and see how fast city council has you up dealing with the costs and the dog getting put the fuck down. But cats, oh. Hi, Milo. You are a cutie, but I know you're a killer. Hey, what can you do? So it's up to your mommy to take.
Humans kill more than cats do.
Well, that's right, but that doesn't mean you should let the cats destroy the frickin' bird population.
Yeah, they don't do as much as you think they do.
Glassed over skyscrapers and Europeans eating them. Leave the fucking songbirds alone.
Europeans eating them, you loyalist.
And take responsibility.
He's a loyalist.
Take responsibility for your cat, you cat lovers.
Personality shining through.
Yeah, personality of the cat people. I think nobody else has any fucking right.
See, he did when he's down here and he's petting my cats. He doesn't normally go on like this.
No, I go upstairs and I have to put my clothes in the laundry. That's what. Now leave me alone.
See, I get a kick out of British people or UK people that always say, or about the Europeans.
I got no time for England right now. They've made a shit show out of that country.
See, he was born in his family were part of the Loyalists, and my family were the Europeans. But see, through side of my family, I found out that he is related through one of my great uncles, like a great uncle or something like that.
We're a big clan.
And we are too. I'm part of that clan, and I'm part of the other one too. So when people say we're part of a clan, take your fucking clans and shove them up your goddamn fucking holes, because all it does is create division. Stick your peckers in the fucking air and your tits high beamed. Oh, bad words. Not very ladylike. I didn't say I was in my feminine right now, did I? See, the 7-year war from the British and the France never stopped.
British and French? Britain or France.
Whatever. There he goes. That's what he does. Corrects people.
I don't correct people.
But when people correct him,
I thank you for it.
no, you don't. You do not at all.
I was good. I apologize for.
I
I'm just trying to get you off track. That's all.
Because that's what's happening. It's still the French and the British war. It's like the treaty was violated right from the get-go because it never worked in the fucking first place. Because it was a bunch of bullies getting together.
Yeah, I'm afraid I would have took off.
Pardon me?
I would have took off if I'd been wearing that red coat. Colonialism has not oppressed the adult. It wouldn't have
Took off not wearing that red coat.
What was that movie? Dances with Sheep or something? Oh, Dances with Wolves.
The red coats were the council on the Twilight. If any of you watched that. But see, everybody believed that it was the French who colonized here. It wasn't. It was the British, because Cornwallis came first with his people. And then the European settlers came afterwards. So it's been the European settlers and the loyalists. And it knew no color, but you're creating division with what you do now. But it ended up because the same thing, you're living it now from the 1700s in the present moment. Kila tu krisi tu dea. Tikle tu turem. Okay, yeah, and you'll see that. Just like, see, I know when somebody is trying to get in my head, because I can feel that it's like a specific vibration. Det sikkerhet å krige noe på rikier. Hijack yourself, man. Spirit to spirit, and that spirit knows exactly which one I'm talking to. It's like when people say they don't want to get on you, but yet, they freely try to get on you. I'm sitting with the guitar music. I have a crackling fire on. Okay. 1 second. Not starting.
No. I had it lit twice. Fucking went out. There's a counter draft coming in the chimney. So, I've never had a problem lighting a fire before. Got any air carton around?
Any what?
Egg carton.
Yeah, out in the kitchen.
Jesus, Rolly, what are you trying to do? Kill me or yourself? I was assuming with a freaking football kick here, but ask you to stop fucking me around.
And if you do that,
Man, it's like you're trying to trick me every time I try to come in.
goreta purisikito purikea. Esuturesim. It's like, the get off of me. Because you really don't want me getting on you. Just saying. Last night I was watching the kids' movie Peter Pan. And I said I was gonna put it on and have people watch it. Well, in that, Tinkerbell didn't like Wendy because Peter Pan sort of had a thing for Wendy. And then when Wendy went to Neverland, it had Cannibal Island. Literally, it showed up Cannibal Island. And this is a kid's cartoon. And then it had her down at Skull Island or something like that. Which, hey. But then it was the mermaids, and everyone says the mermaid are sirens. Okay, well, the sirens didn't like Wendy, wanted to drown Wendy. Because, Peter Pan. Wanted to kill Hook. Wanted to kill Hook, which could represent Captain Hook. If you watch the story, he went to Neverland, but Captain Hook could you refer to it much like Charlie Kirk? Because Peter Pan had the Lost Boys, right? Which represents the Proud Boys. Peter Pan was Piper, Pad Piper, who was Pan, who lured them. You lure them, that is the grooming. And Charlie Kirk was the perfect candidate to be the patsy. And I don't mean it, I mean it in a way that the one who always wanted to fit in somewhere and belong. Easy prey. Kind of feel like the vulnerable, but then become no longer not so much a vulnerable one as being an involved one. He knew more because he was one of them. Maybe he was like Hook, no longer wanted to be one. But, hey, sooner or later you're going to figure out that there's a raid in the White House.
What's left of the White House?
Oh, I know.
Stupid fucker. Tore that down. He doesn't even have a real plan, just like his healthcare plan.
No, we're not. Like I understand. I know that, but there's a lot of trying to cover up evidence. I said before, follow the tunnels to the White House. Everything leads back to the power. But is it that White House? Or is it the White House on the mountain? Camp David? Maybe it's both. But there's many more islands. Hook Island being Sam's Island. Hence Hook, Captain Hook is North America or the U.S. Neverland. Skull Rock. It's like this is, you say Turtle Island. Is Skull Rock somewhere's underground? It's like you talk in parables and riddles, but questions. Because if you look, it's so much like what's going on now, because everything in the Bible they're putting in your cartoons, your movies. But they're telling you that's all fiction, but the Bible is truth. With a bit of a twist, right? If you want the whole story, then you need to come together with your books. Because it doesn't, like things that you say are fiction are not fiction. The same as people, like, with seeing that's not fiction. That was him holding a phone. And then within seconds of him holding that phone, he was on the phone with her. He doesn't like me doing this. He gets irritated. When people get irritated when somebody else questions things or bring things forward, then why would you expect others not to get irritated with you? Because believe me, I get irritated with myself sometimes. Because I know that it's not just me saying, like it's me saying it, but it's a spirit that won't show its own face and say it for themselves. In the system, they're trying to weaken the family structure. They're trying to weaken the feminine. They're trying to weaken the women and children. When I say feminine, because there are men who can embrace their own femininity, but you're not a man unless you're all gruff. I know that went weird, but hey, I channel what's around me. And I know what spirit it is because it just left. It's that part, like, when somebody else has a beef with someone else, but like somebody else is the spokesperson for them, why can't you do your own fucking talking? It's like the brother and brother, or brother half brother, or brother sister, brother half sister, cousins. Because that's exactly what I'm experiencing. It's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual brawl. And once upon a time, the evil queen comes and, like, she's separated from herself. So she's Regina in the. And she said that about making you tear yourselves apart. Meaning it was the untold stories. And that was the part that she was referring to. Like, the untold stories were going to come up and you're going to tear yourselves apart. But not if you, like, it's what tears you apart is the secrets, internal and external. But it plays out. It's like what I bring forward, like, I lost a lot of people. Well, I never really had many people to begin with because, I was a loner floater. Didn't have any specific people. I said before I come into this spiritual war, I prepared myself for it. It's like going through the training. And it can be brutal. Experience is the best teacher. In many ways. It helps you to see the unseen. It helps you to put your own pieces of the puzzle together because you see your own life. It's like a mirror. Sometimes the ones closest to you can be your best friend, or they can be your worst enemy, or they can be a little bit of both. And you for them. So when I sat back and I seen that, that's what I said, like with them two, there's a part of the story that's not told right now. Wasn't it they said that, like, with Charlie Kirk's everything, like insurance policies and all that stuff, it was all back and forth and here and there. So, this is what people are saying, but, people say propaganda or conspiracy theories. What is a conspiracy theory? A conspiracy theory is something that's being said before it comes to light. The real Santa Claus, are you my grandfather? Sorry, I'm not making fun of it. Like, I just kind of looked and read it because, like, last year, it was pretty fucked up too. The triangular ship and the sleigh and it was like 4 reindeer, but it was female reindeer, and this man in the sleigh waving to me like this. Not only do I believe in the unseen, I've seen the unseen, and it's pretty fucked up. It makes you appear pretty fucked up too, Grandma got run over by a reindeer and only Grandpa and I seen, or something like that. So Grandpa and I believe in Santa. Only Grandpa just won't come forward and say. It's like, shh, don't say anything. They'll think we're all a little loopy in the head. I didn't learn the languages anywhere. So am I loopy? Well, yeah, you know. It's like, you know, when I go places and I speak like that and stuff, I know that the people I'm with are embarrassed by me, but I'm not embarrassed by me. So why are you? Whether it looks weird or not. You know, I have different books around here, but it's like I look in them if I'm guided to look in them, and I question them because it's the spirit questioning them, because, you know, it's all in how somebody interprets something. Oh shit. Oh shit. Get out there, you. Queen Mary. I just looked at, and people said that King James had an aunt. I just looked, and with regards to the mother had no sisters of King James. And then it says King James' father was Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. On his father's side, James had one aunt, Lady Arabella Stuart, okay, who was Delaney's niece, who was his father's niece. How would that be his aunt? That would be his cousin. Oh. And then it said, which makes her, okay, I didn't read that, but, I could have read further, not his aunt, okay. Only full siblings was Charles Stuart Earl, okay. Why did I go to King James? Because I was looking to see. Anne of Denmark. I was just checking into something because I was watching Twilight Saga, okay? And it was Breaking Dawn #2. And they had, James. These were the bad guys. The bad, the ones that would just go and hunt people. The book of demonology. King James. Okay, now in this movie, there was a James. And then there was a Victoria. So King James was the one of demonology, okay? And you talk about, Facebook will probably, cut me off and say, looked on this again, because they did last night or whenever it was that I last spoke about vampires and werewolves. Okay. We'll say energy vampires and cannibals. Oh, can't even say that, right? Wrong. Okay. Now, in it had James and Victoria. King James was before Victoria. Okay, but they said in King James that King James took out his own mother with his aunt for the throne. Okay. King James wrote the book of demonology. Okay. Redcoats. So did King James turn Queen Victoria? Okay, because you're having Breaking Dawn, and they were together. In this, James and Victoria were an item, and what color hair did Queen Victoria have? Let's try this. because it's like the storylines tell you specific things. Okay. Grandmother of Europe. Doesn't say. Leopold was her brother. Okay. It's not what I'm looking for. Let's try this. Son of a bitch! Oh, goddamn! And in this movie, she was a redhead. And she's a redhead. Depiction? Coincidence? Possibly, but highly unlikely. This is the parts of the untold stories, the secrets. And this is what's playing out within your said modern times, which are actually made to look like modern times, but are still much the same as the 7 Years' War. But wasn't there one they said with regards to Israel and that too? Or something like that? The 7 Year War, but it's the 7 Year War of what you're watching is the British, the Loyalist, and the European settlers. The French and the British. The Scottish and Irish and the British. What you perceive to be the indigenous, which to me, I say, don't take offense to the word Indian. Please don't. You give the stigmata of cowboys and Indians, and you make the Indians all bad. Well, like you say, they were scalping people. Well, Edward Cornwallis fucking scalped my 7th grade granddaddy in front of his pregnant wife and 1.5-year-old child. And the man that was there with him a year later become the patrol, on the Indian patrol. And he was the one that was said to have been killed by the Bootlair brothers. Was he actually killed? Or was it just all a stage to kill the Bootlair brothers? Because who's going to believe two native boys running around? French native. Because they were Indians. it's like when you have, okay, and you go on the kids movie Peter Pan. Okay, so they're playing games with the Indians. Okay, the Indians have their territory in Peter Pan, and the Lost Boys have their territory. But, Hook took Pocahontas. Yep, and Mr. Sneed. But see, they were both Lost Boys too. They all wanted a mother. That represents abandonment issues, whether it be mother and father, because the Lost Boys left both the mother and the father feeling unwanted. And who is more apt to go after ones like that? Because, hey, when I read about Erica Kirk, she was going to, her mother was taking her to soup kitchens and things like that. Apparently, they were divorced. Charlie, the parents were always separated. There was always that story. And what do predators go after? Some smart people play dumb. And it goes the opposite way too. Some talk and act smart, but when then, but when challenged, que boleto músico mulher. Eso toda. I can wait too. Ushkia. You're silly. Asua, dosi mo da enushu ko huyamoy. Isso tudo. But hey, let's everybody else is giving their theory, but this ain't a theory. It's I'm just voicing what I seen and what I heard. Did I say that it's possible that, Charlie's wife was on the other line when it was facing, because she had been watching it? So it wasn't turned off. It was right beside her. She said she set it down and just put the volume on silent. Hey, like I said, they hung my cousins for less. I'm not saying this isn't a witch hunt. This is a truth come to light. Galatokremosukia. I pointed to Jeremiah 50, verse 29. Send out a call for archers to come to Babylon, surround the city, and so none can escape. And then it says, do to her as she has done to others, for she has defied the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. Gorita moesete. See, I think why it brought me here is because they were saying about like a bribe from Israel with Kirk. And we're like, I'll tell you, if Candace Owen would see that as being a sign from Charlie Kirk. Others would see it like, I don't, it's not that it's a sign from Charlie Kirk. Sometimes the spirit actually says it through different things out of a knowing of or a form of guilt. It's almost like when people feel like they deserve a certain thing, whether it be a good or a bad, or perceived either way. Because I find that very, very weird. So none can escape. That's like in the Twilight. Edward was going to show himself to the people, and it would have got him killed. And Bella stopped him. That's the part of surround the city so they can't escape. Avikemo Kodesa. VALH. Valhalla. Now I'm going to take you to the series Frozen, the movie Frozen. Valhalla. Okay. So in the movie Frozen, Elsa has to go to Valhalla to find out the truth. And Valhalla, are they referring to Valhalla or Valhalla as Valhalla? Is that where, well, I mean, people are saying this is where they go, right? Is that where the truth lies? Você mocereta hai. So is the Turtle Island the Valhalla? Oh my God! Because there's a Valhalla in Ontario. Yeah, I just heard when the thunder rolls, God's going to be bowling. The 9-pin. I can feel that, you know. It's like my channel's not for everyone. Short of fuck, not the weak-hearted. Or ones who are not open to like questioning and talking through to find out what really makes sense. Like this is all the stuff that's happening now is over spirituality. If you watch Frozen, you had the British, and then you had more of the, you know, the French Indians, because there were French Indians. They even went down that rabbit hole. French, Scottish, and Irish. Indians. Did you ever wonder why it was said that, you know, Queen Elizabeth said, "And how are my little Indians?" Who sold us to you? C'est celui qui t'a pris. It's like you look at Charlie Kirk, but when you look, it was what I went was a rabbit hole of a title patent. Confirmation, the title patent. You know, the Crown's office. The Queen had title patents on the people. That's why it was like, you know, you like people think that people presume that it's treason on the Queen. It's treason on the people. If you know, if what you commit treason on the Queen, I guess you're committing treason on the people if she classes us as hers. You know, Queen Elizabeth did not. I like, well, whether she didn't like Trump because Trump had family secrets, who fucking knows? I said, like, earlier today, I did a video and I questioned whether, you know, Prince Andrew is or not Prince Andrew, Prince William is actually Donald Trump's kid. Because there was a thing like Baron of Carrickfergus or something like that. Baron. I said about the Baron, you know, the Baron Trump adventures. Was it his son, Baron? You know, the young son? Or was it actually Prince William? My body just went through something right there. You know, you did have Donald Trump walking in front of the Queen, and then again walking in front of King Charles. Was that a statement? Because I believe, you know, wouldn't surprise me if King Charles and Donald Trump were actually half brothers. Seriously. But that would be the part that, you know, it wouldn't matter because they're not even the rightful heirs. You know, was it a case of stolen identity? Birth certificate swaps? I said many times, like, you know, she was my 6th or 7th great Grammy, but she was Donald Trump's 2nd or 3rd. So I'd be like, if I irritated him that bad, he'd have to wipe out his own family, and that would wipe out him. Because no matter what way you looked at it. people would say, why would you even want to say that you were any relation to Donald Trump? It's to make a point. Because his second or third great Grammy remarried after his second or third great granddaddy died, and it just happened to be my sixth or seventh great granddaddy. See, I think it would have been on two sides, no matter whether or not you were the biological child. Yeah, I heard what I said. Because my fifth or sixth great Grampy would have married one of my mother's great aunts. My sixth great granddaddy spoke German. Se detto perché non. I don't know which one of them was my sixth or seventh granddaddy or something like that. One of them attached themselves to me, and holy shit, man. Sometimes they're very animalistic. But I'm thinking it might have been either one, because there was even more to their death. Much like what you perceive with Charlie Kirk. There's more to his said death. Excuse me. I like the lights because they're very calming. Hey, how'd you turn off? You know, I'm gonna Tiskiamo tai aresito polesle kirias kai. Ekuru toni ekuru. Someone said hope is fear. Hope rises out of the fear. Hope rises out of the fear through truth. You can't just hope. You have to move through whatever it is that's keeping you in that hoping that things will get better. What's holding it back? Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tunes without the words and never stops at all. Hope comes to light, birthed out of the darkness. Forever like feathers. Flying through and navigating. Every problem in it has a seed of its own solution. If you don't have any problems, you don't get any seeds. I'm going to sit with this one. They say that things flourish through problems, which is a stigmata. Because things can actually grow faster through joy. Because it says you don't get any seeds. So that is like if you don't play into the system, you can't grow. You know, if you take a tree and you plant the seed and you water you water it with positive light and the proper nourishment, it actually flourishes and grows. But if you don't nourish it properly and there's more problems on top of it, what happens? The seed does not grow. So how exactly does problems help you with seeds? Because if you flourish, then that flourish produces its own seeds. So with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. But you got to be ready for it. Because the type of healing I send, sometimes it will hit you like a fucking ton of bricks. And it's not to hurt your feelings. It's not to piss you off, but it will. I'm here to help you sort out those seeds, help you manipulate the soil so that, if those roots are bound up, I'm here to help you shake them free so the seed can flourish. That's what I say. ready and willing to accept. So, have a great night, y'all. Que se la puta queria su sukuri e. Go say.